In this video, we are covering one of the most famous true crime stories ever written, In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This story is not fiction. Everything you are about to hear actually happened, and that is what makes it so disturbing. This is the story of a peaceful family, a senseless crime, and two men whose paths crossed with fate in the most tragic way. Let us begin. Holcomb, Kansas, was the kind of town where nothing ever happened. It was a small farming community, quiet and orderly, surrounded by endless fields of wheat. People knew each other by name. Doors were rarely locked. Crime was almost unheard of. Life moved slowly, guided by routine, hard work, and trust. In this town lived the Clutter family. Herbert Clutter was one of the most respected men in Holcomb. He was a successful farmer, known for his discipline, fairness, and strong moral values. He employed several workers on his land and paid them well. People admired him not just for his wealth, but for his character. His wife, Bonnie Clutter, struggled with depression and periods of illness, but she was gentle and deeply caring. She spent much of her time at home, trying to manage her health while raising her children. The Clutters had 4 children, but only 2 were living at home at the time. Nancy Clutter was 16 years old, bright, responsible, and widely loved. She was active in school, helped neighbors, taught younger children to bake, and was known for her kindness. Many in town saw her as the perfect example of a small-town American teenager. Kenyon Clutter, 15, was quieter. He enjoyed working with his hands, building things in the basement, and spending time on practical projects. He was polite, hard-working, and close to his family. On the surface, the Clutters lived an ideal life. No one in Holcomb could imagine that this family was about to become the center of a crime that would shock the entire nation. Hundreds of miles away, 2 men were also going about their lives, but in a very different world. Perry Smith and Dick Hickok met in prison. Dick Hickok was confident, talkative, and manipulative. He liked to talk big and often dreamed of easy money. Perry Smith, on the other hand, was quiet, emotionally complex, and deeply scarred by a traumatic childhood. He had been abused, neglected, and felt like an outsider for most of his life. The 2 men bonded over shared frustration, anger at the world, resentment toward authority, and a belief that they had been unfairly treated by life. While in prison, Dick heard about Herbert Clutter. A former inmate told him that Clutter was wealthy and kept a safe full of cash in his house. According to the rumor, there would be tens of thousands of dollars waiting for anyone bold enough to take it. The rumor was false. But Dick believed it. And once the idea took hold, it would not let go. After being released from prison, Dick tracked down Perry and shared the plan. He spoke confidently, promising easy money and a quick job. No witnesses. No complications. Just one house, one night, and a big reward. Perry hesitated. Unlike Dick, Perry was not driven purely by greed. He dreamed of treasure hunting, of escaping to Mexico, of finding meaning in his life. But he was also deeply insecure, eager for acceptance, and drawn to Dick's certainty. Eventually, he agreed. They gathered supplies, gloves, rope, tape, a shotgun, and began their journey toward Holcomb, Kansas. As they drove through the open highways, neither man truly understood what they were about to do. They believed they were planning a robbery. In reality, they were driving toward a moment that would destroy multiple lives, including their own. Back in Holcomb, the Clutter family finished another ordinary day. Nancy attended church activities and helped friends. Kenyon worked on his projects. Herbert reviewed farm matters. Bonnie rested upstairs. There was no sign of danger. No warnings. No sense that this would be the last night the family would ever spend together. The town slept peacefully. And somewhere on the dark road leading into Holcomb, two men were approaching, carrying a lie, a weapon, and a decision that could never be undone. This brings us to the end of part 1. In the next part, we will walk through the night of the crime itself, minute by minute, and see how a simple lie turned into a brutal act that stunned America.